couple years ago, I got a call from a local high school coach, a guy that I know and have respected, recruited his school for a long time, that told me there was this cat here in town that was getting overlooked that we need to take a look at. All right, and he was exactly right. And that's why today Killian O'Connor's going on scholarship.
Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
And welcome, everybody, to the glorious episode of Student Body Rights, USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas. As always, I am podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Rainy day. I'm sure it's raining where you. I don't know if it's raining where you are, but
it absolutely is.
Unlike in California, we're like, day one, we need the rain. Day two, we need the rain. And then day three, we're like, what the fuck is this? That's what we always do. That's what we always do out here when it rains. So I think it's gonna rain for like 6 straight days. So we'll see what happens there. POR SBR is my Twitter handle, and then also you can see me at POR SBR bsky.social at Blue Sky, and then Put on Waivers _ podcast. If you want to help the show, obviously there's memberships down below as well. So join that. Thanks for folks for watching in Oakland, California, Madison, Wisconsin, New Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then San Juan, Puerto Rico as well. And then we got 70% of you guys are watching but not clicking that button to subscribe. It's just easier to subscribe, man. Then rather than search and go through all that stuff, just subscribe. It's a lot easier. We got Coach B in here. Thank you for joining us here again. We haven't talked in a minute, so let's get down to some the USC news. So I guess at the Nike event the other day, we had Ryder Lyons, who was definitely on USC's radar. Played well. He's the next one that I just can't. I hope Lincoln wins enough to stay, because I definitely want to see him with Lincoln. I'm not gonna front. Like, I think he is a phenomenal talent. I can't wait to see what happens with Ryder Lyons. His brother's also here as well, so playing tight end. I think by end of the season he'll be the starting tight end for USC the way he played last year. And then you got Maximus Stein Nicky, I guess his name is. I have to hear his name pronounced. Something like that. He was. This is the stuff that's happening in the Big Ten right now for USC and in their front office. He was the GM of the Wisconsin Badgers, and he left that job to come for a lesser position at USC. So they're not Jen Cohen and company are not sparing any expense. They're bringing everybody they possibly can have come in. And then you have Andrew Williams. He is committed to USC for right now. The product out of Fremont High School in Los Angeles. So he's a two-way guy, an edge and a tight end. So any thoughts about those three things?
I like what we're doing in the office, right? I like what we're doing in the front office. I think that's huge. You know what I mean? I think what they're doing is they're taking away excuses. And like you said, Lincoln has to do enough. He has to win enough to keep his job at this point, because they're taking away excuses. You know what I mean? They're taking away, are we spending money? Yes. We're spending money where we need it. We're putting smart guys in the high places, right? So anytime you do that, I feel like you're checking off boxes and say, okay, Lincoln, I'm putting the infrastructure around you where you got a year, maybe 2 left, right? Then that's all you got. If you're not producing, maybe 2. I feel like if you don't win this year, you know what I mean? If we're not winning, but we're not winning, we're on a hot seat.
What's the total? What does the total have to be for, like, so here's the thing. What's the expected total by you? And then what is the floor for him to be able to comfortably come back and be the coach of the Trojans?
I think it's 10 games both ways.
Okay. Fair.
I think it's 10 games both ways. We can't lose games like we lost last year, right? We can't lose Minnesota. You can't lose Maryland. I don't care where we play them at. We can play them on Mars. You can't lose those games. Michigan was expected to some degree for a lot of people, right?
It was expected, and then you saw us take the lead in the fourth quarter, and
Yeah, and you're like, oh, you can do this.
Yeah, close it out.
Again.
Yeah, close it
Right.
out.
So
yeah,
then
yeah.
you okay, so you give Michigan a pass. We should have been. I told you from the jump, we should have beat Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State was a no-brainer. That game you can't let. Again, you're at home. I said Penn State on the road. I'm not too happy playing that game up there, but we got them at home. That should have been a win. Lincoln you can't lose those games. Yeah. That's 10. We were last year a 10-game win team.
Yeah, and I do think to a certain extent there was seeing all the people who they're actually hiring.
Yeah,
there was a whole lot on his plate at one time. So right. I will. I'm not giving anybody a pass. I'm just saying like there was a lot there. So like just to be frank and honest about the situation. But now the sigh of relief is there, and I think he's either going to they're going to explode and shock people, or they're just going to be mediocre. I don't think it's going to. They're going to be mediocre and be like a 5-win, 6-win team, because like for him this should be such a sigh of relief that he has this infrastructure here. Jen, you have Chad, you have Chad Bowen coming in guns blazing, talking about all these things at USC. So let's just talk about that real quick. What are your thoughts about Chad Bowen, the front office, and who were some of the guys in that press conference that you like really enjoyed hearing from, or didn't enjoy?
Well, I mean, like I said, I like hearing from everybody. I'm be honest. Yeah. Like I like what everybody said. And here's the thing: it's the infusion. What I always tell you? It's the infusion of being a Trojan. It's an infusion of knowing what it means. You know what I mean? And wanting to live to a standard. The one thing I saw an article, and I think it was Chad who said, I grew up watching the Matt Leinarts, the Reggie Bushes. I watched those teams.
Yep.
When you point to that, that means I'm trying. That is a standard that I am shooting for.
Yep. 100%.
So if that's the standard you're shooting for, that is what I need. That's what I want to hear. You know what I mean? Because that means you understand that team wasn't just built off of we had the most explosive player in college football history, and I don't care what nobody says, and Reggie Bush. But those defenses were nice.
Yeah.
Those defenses were different. We had difference makers at every level. A difference maker on that defense. Those guys wouldn't play in the NFL for some years. There were difference makers on those teams. We have what? One Hall of Fame off those year teams. But again, yeah, probably one. But the thing about it is that when we have those difference makers, like you understand that we need to build up that back end of the defense, which is why I'm not beating. I'm okay with Rob Ryan as the linebackers coach. Okay with that. Mm-hmm. As a coach, as the X's and O's guy, mm-hmm. that I am. I don't think we could have gotten a better guy to be able to teach the game
in that defense. In that defense,
yeah. So to me, when I look at that, I'm like, okay, I'm good with Rob. My issues with him as a recruiter, but I'm good with him as a coach.
Yeah.
I think that those things help out, right? Those things help out. So we're going to maximize the Eric Gentrys, the Stevens. We're going to maximize that talent.
Yep.
I feel like we're going to be a little more exotic with using that talent. So when I look at Chad and everybody who talk, I'm like, yo, okay, you guys are set. You guys have an expectation of where we should be. You have an expectation. Are you going to manage the organization to that expectation? And that's what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. How are you guys managing to the expectation? You told me what the expectation was. Now I want to see if you manage to it. You know me on face value, I like the guys, all of them, everyone. Yeah. I have to see it done because we bought it. We bought into Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams when they got here. Some did. I didn't, but they won me over. And I'm on the same train. You got to sell me. You got to make this thing right.
They got to show you. They got to show you. You
got to make this thing right. Because
which is fine. Yeah.
We're here. Dwayne, think about it. we know what USC means. We know what the team brings. We know what the name brings. You know what that helmet brings. You know what I'm saying? You know what the colors bring, the pageantry, the Coliseum. You know what it means. We cannot allow this thing as fans, as people who spend their money to support this team and organization, go to everything, spend time on a podcast and be like, okay, we're just good with 5 wins. We're just good with 7 wins. You know, we're good with being just average in the Big Ten when we should be top 3 in the Big Ten at minimum, and not 3. We can't allow it. So we gotta demand more from the people that are around us, the people that run the organization. We have to.
Yeah. The idea is to be a high level college football team that wins big games and plays in big games, and makes the playoff. So this is to me, I agree. If they go 10-2, they're USC, they make the playoff. Like, you know what I mean? It really is not that dramatic or any. I mean, they make the playoff, no question about it. You can't have any missteps here. And I think when you look at the schedule, all you're asking them to really do, and there are some sneaky tough home games. Like Iowa's not going to be easy, stuff like that. I get it, but like you have the Oregon game, you have the at Nebraska, you have at Michigan and at Notre Dame, and like I think to go 2-2 and clean out the rest is not an unrealistic, crazy thing. It just isn't. Like it just isn't, and that's all it will take for them to get to the playoff. And that will be the culmination of like like that first round playoff. Like I want to be sitting next to Coach B at the Coliseum at a playoff game.
There.
We'll be there.
Be there.
Yeah, Coach B will be there in the overalls. Like,
yeah, in the
USC
overalls. I'm waiting to pull out. I'm telling you, I have the overall. I'm waiting for them to come out.
Do him step out the car with those
Yes.
things. I'm gonna have my camera ready to go for that one.
In the overalls,
about it.
I'm gonna have the hat. I'm looking at new shoes for a boy. Watch out.
Some of the. I mean, so the first road game is going to be obviously the worst team in the conference at Purdue. I do respect the Illinois program. So like I do think Illinois is a tough team too. So like that's before they go to the bye week on October 4th. That's a sneaky game as well. But like I said, you're better. I mean,
yeah.
You're more explosive. You're gonna have all these things off your plate. So there's no reason why you can't do that. So what I do like about the hiring of Bowman is that like they have the US. I mean, NFL Notre Dame had the ability to have good trenches. You know what I mean? And if you replaced USC's trenches with Notre Dame's trenches next year, like how far, even with the whole thing with the quarterbacks and whatever, like you can see how far they would have went. Like I mean, it's not even a question.
Yeah.
Right? So. Although I was looking up all those guys and where they came from, a lot of those guys came from the Midwest. So we'll have to see, obviously, if they can get some of the pieces that happen to be out west. So we'll see. The West Coast recruiting is going to be huge. They are making a huge emphasis on West Coast recruiting. So, I mean, listen, we can say finally. I'll say finally, but let's continue to get it done. I think Williams was one of the pieces to the puzzle. Let's just keep those guys coming in. That 2026 class, high school football more than anybody out here. That's a huge class for the state of California.
Absolutely, and it is no doubt. And we need to be top 2 in that. Taking over. Like I said, you know me. I'm about taking back over our state.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm about taking back over California. When we win is when we take back. We put a hedge around Southern California specifically and say, you're not getting any kids out of here.
Yeah.
You put the hedge around it and say, okay, you think? I remember a story, and I don't know if you heard the story about Coach O. One of the recruiters, somebody had got off from another school, had got off the plane, and Coach O had literally met them in LAX and asked them why they were here. Like, why are you here? When Coach O was with SC, he's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
That kid ain't going to you. Like, literally, that was one of the kid ain't going to you.
That's hilarious.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why you're here. Like, we need to, like, that type of being bold and brash and out there and outspoken, bring that back. Bring that back. We had that kind of confidence. Say, hey, you can. I don't know why you're here. You just wasted your money. Probably should go downtown somewhere and go to like Universal Studios or something. But you're not recruiting out here.
Go to the beach.
Yeah, you're not recruiting out here. You got a free trip, buddy.
That is hilarious. That's so true. Here was the question I have for, and I'll thank you for all the folks who text the show. But the biggest question, obviously, the quarterback room is the biggest, is one of the biggest issues, one of the biggest things people want to talk about. And somebody posed a question like, hey, if we have up and down play from Mayava anyway, right? Why not just, come out? We have, we have a winnable road game early. We have two easy home games coming up. Why not get Longstreet's feet wet, make him the starter, and then, just come out and just, try to do, run the football, play action down the field, try to control the game, because obviously we can control the game against Georgia Southern and Mississippi and Missouri State anyway. Get his feet wet, because the upside of him is why if the prospect of Longstreet is going to be better down the road, why not just do that now?
Well, I feel like this. If we're gonna dumb down the playbook, just dumb it down with Jaden, and let's go with a commodity who's seen football on this level, not trying to catch up to the speed of the game, not trying to. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I get this kid is talented, uber talented, but it's still something about the speed of the game. There's still something about the way the high school receivers being open to college receivers being open. It's the same jump. That jump is, when we talk about from college to NFL, high school to NFL high school to college, same jump. Because everybody now is the guy that you've seen on another team. You know what I mean? You're playing against all the guys on one team. Mm-hmm. So that speed, no matter how bad the team may be, that speed may be different. So you're talking about play action and we talk about play action and pushing the ball and controlling the game. Those things still have to come with a good decision by the quarterback. Mm-hmm. It still comes with a decision by that guy. Yeah. And I would rather the guy who's seen the speed, who, if he's up and down, okay, fine, but he's seen multiple defenses. He's had a lot of snaps at the college level. So yes, I would like to stay with Jaden. I think Jaden's mobility, if he's being mobile, I don't think we have that issue. If he's being mobile, I'm convinced that he was told not to run in the bowl game. I
don't think so.
I'm convinced, because I've never seen him not run.
I mean, like there is those times where it's like, where it's when they were, I mean, the one thing about the offensive line the last game they played against Texas A&M, they were cooking. And Jackson was running the ball up the middle, just looking like Lindell like crazy, right? So like, but there were some times where if he just pulled it, the linebacker was crashing so hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a decision that he has to make. I think he has that freedom to do that. I don't think he has.
No. What I'm talking about just for that game. I'm not talking about for the season. I'm talking about for that game. I'm convinced. They told him, we don't need you getting hurt. This is a ball game. Go out there and play. We don't need you getting hurt. I'm convinced. It looked almost like it was like Caleb-esque the last season when Caleb was not pulling the ball. He was not like, you saw it like, oh, I'm playing for the draft. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get out through the season and not get hurt. You've seen it. And I'm convinced that's what it looked like to me. It was just that game. You're not about to get hurt, buddy. Go out here, play this game. We can win with your arm. Don't worry about it. Don't get hurt. If we lose, it's not going to kill us. If we win, it's not going to kill us. It's a bowl game. And I'm convinced that Lincoln, that was his exact speech to him. Because I've seen too much tape of him being mobile. I've seen entirely too much tape of him running, like literally running the ball, literally using his legs on crucial plays. Literally, like you said, if he just pulls the ball, he walks in. That was a decision that he made. I think that decision was influenced by his head coach. I wholeheartedly believe that.
What's to do to see? What to see? I don't know. I don't know about that one, but we'll see. I think for me, like I mean, like I said, they have to like it. I think the spring game is going to be like it's going to if he is the problem. The thing issue I see is like if he's close, if the kid is close, he's playing.
I don't think
Like
so.
yeah,
I thought the same thing last year with my Alva Miller Moss. Remember, I told you she was starting by week 5. It was close.
yeah.
That
See,
was close last year.
He started him too late.
Yeah, but
He started him too late.
again, it was close.
Yeah.
It was close, and I just don't. I think Lincoln is going to be loyal too. Also,
I mean, like, I think to me, the biggest thing that I've been saying this forever. I want to see happen is, I just want to see them both play. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really,
Yeah.
I think it behooves them. Everybody plays 2 quarterbacks. Like Penn State played 2 quarterbacks. They went to the Final Four. Like, play 2 quarterbacks. Like, think about when Notre Dame. I don't even know. I don't even know if Notre Dame actually played their backup quarterback at all this year because I didn't watch every single Notre Dame game.
It was Riley.
But when he played, he basically won them a game because those 3 points they had against Penn State on that drive won them the game. And he came out ready and slinging. So if anything happens to Jaden, I don't want him like being shot. I want him to actually take the field. I think they have 2 opponents early in the season where he should be able to take the field against. Like, you know what I mean? So like the game should be lopsided enough where they should take the field. So, but I do like nothing wrong with just a couple of packages here for him. Let him get his feet wet and in college football. Like, I mean, that's the way I look at it. Let him get his feet wet.
Right. No, I'm not mad at that. Like I said, we agreed on that last year. I felt like Jaden should have came in before Penn State and started that seat. And if he does that, we're probably looking at a different season to close out. And Penn State for sure is because they got no loss on their record.
Yeah.
And probably Notre Dame probably is too because we beat them too because they didn't. I don't think Notre Dame had it. I think we could have beat them had he had more snaps under his belt and with the offense through the whole season. So I think both of those teams are being looked at very differently had Maiava played when he was supposed to.
I think Thanos is really can be just this next level recruit for this team.
If he's weighing what they say he weighs,
yeah,
I'm going to be very intrigued on how this defense is going to look.
Yes.
I am going to be very intrigued. If he's weighing up to that 300-pound level where they were talking about. Yeah. This is going to be. Listen, I'm looking forward to the spring game because I'm locked in right on him.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely him. And like because I mean that I do think the needs of the. I think having the last spring portal coming up here, and I think having this team already in place is very helpful because they do need the defensive backfield and linebacking core needs a little help. Gentry is not a 11-game player. It seems like so far in his career. Hopefully this year he can actually play all the games. Desmond Stevens, I think, is on his way to having. I mean, the interception against Penn State show. I mean, he's really he can backpedal, dropping coverage, and he also can tackle. So, but the depth is kind of lacking. You don't want to have Anthony Beavers out there playing linebacker, right? So, they have that. So obviously they can continue to develop guys in the defensive backfield, but they do need some veteran help there, especially in the slot. And I think as far as quarterback goes, I think they're going to be loyal to what they have. I don't see them going. The only guy I really wanted who really intrigued me was and I know Nico from Tennessee. Some people are kind of throwing that out there a little bit. That could be just more of a negotiating ploy to get more money out of Tennessee. Because I know he's a Cali kid, but for the most part, I think on the offensive side, I do get a little worried about wide receiver because of the 2 guys. I mean, obviously the 2 guys at the top are special, but then there's some unproven guys after that. And unless you have maybe one of these freshmen come through and shine.
Well, I'm okay with this being. I know we talk about depth, right? But look at what happened in the past years. We had too much depth apparently for Lincoln Riley's system. So I'm okay if we have those two guys at the top. Please stay healthy. God bless them if they stay healthy because they're going to be dangerous.
Oh, they're gonna be the best.
They're going to be
top,
in
top five duo.
They're going to be in Volitnikov talks. And I feel like with those, I feel like if we have the rotational pieces behind them, it won't feel so bad because those two guys we know are going to be on the field. So you put the rotation pieces behind them and say, okay, you guys, here you go, guys, go in. But those two guys will still be on the field. What did we complain about last year? We needed Jacoby Lane on the field. We needed Mekhi on the field, and because we had so much depth, they weren't on the field. There's times we needed Deuce on the field, or we needed Zach on the field. They weren't on the field.
Yeah,
because we needed Kyron on the field. Like we were just kind of following through these guys and rotating through these guys that it didn't benefit us. When you needed the guys on the field, you were like, okay, who's up here now? So now these two guys will be on the field, and we'll sprinkle in somebody here and somebody there, probably at third and fourth position, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. And shout out to Rivals. Nasty work you guys did on the whole thing about Zachariah and blaming. I mean, everything on Zachariah wasn't SC. Like
that's crazy.
That is like that's nasty work. I know it's going to an SEC team now, so you gotta kind of stroke their back a little bit, but that's nasty work right there, man. That's nasty.
Yeah, that
work.
Was gross. Rivals disgusting for that.
Yeah, it's crazy for that.
It's clearly you didn't watch the games.
Exactly. I will say that. I'll say one thing I do like about Bowden is that his ability to retain talent.
Yeah.
Is and then that's one of the biggest things, like to retain. You recruit some guys, you spend all this capital doing that, but then they end up leaving to the NFL or leaving through professional life as an Irishman, as a fighting Irish. Now they'll leave. They'll do that same thing here. We hope with the Trojans. Cool.
Absolutely.
And any other news and notes before we head out?
Not for me.
I mean, it's good. All right. So we'll be around definitely. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on with the Trojans in this off season. Who know? I mean, they just keep adding people to this front office. As they got to put like a little diamond chart so we can see who's who. But
where they fit under who's under who.
Yeah,
where they go.
Yeah, they got some really talented young men and young ladies who are come from some big time programs. I mean, and they come in. I think that Dre Brown kid, he was on the beach the other day and he tweeted it back. He did an Instagram back to the Illini talking trash. Like, I mean, this is like the boastiness that I need from
make me feel good. Like, make this
make me feel good, bro. I mean, they're killing it right here. So, right now the last update we have, and I want to just say one more thing about the draft class real quick. So I know people always want to know about the draft class. So team rankings really quick. So right now, the 26 draft class. I mean the draft class, the recruiting class. They're looking at number 3 right now. If everybody's waiting for 7, that's right behind Oregon and right behind Texas A&M. Texas A&M, they're always there. They never end up keeping anybody. So that's kind of funny.
Get the bag.
Yeah, so surprisingly, you got at number 5 you have Kansas. So we'll see who stays there, whatever. But listen, this is another opportunity for Lincoln to kind of to come through. He has to come through here, and I think he has a great opportunity to do so. His they were 14th in the 2025 class, so they do have some players who I think can contribute. I do like the versatility on the defensive line.
Yeah.
They do have a lot of players there as well too, so it should be fun. All right, Trojan fans, take care. You got some Trojans going into the draft, so wish them well.
Yes, sir.
The combines next week. We'll see what happens with the Chargers and Raiders because we know that's our teams. So we'll take care and then we'll talk to you guys later.
All right, fight on.
Fight on.